help you? I don't really have time to talk. I'm waiting for someone.
Are you Vincent Mensah? We're here for a meeting on behalf of Melody Flores.
Oh, good. You're Melody's people. Do you have everything that I asked for?
There must be some miscommunication. Melody said that you would be able to provide us with some information about Hayden Weber's projects within Parallax. He has gone missing, and any information we get may be useful.
Damn that old woman.
What?
We had a deal. She promised me, and I'm not giving up anything until I get what I need. I already know Hayden is missing. Why else would I be willing to sell corporate secrets to Flower? This was my chance to get out of the city. Instead, she sends the two of you, hat in hand with nothing. I'm assuming you're Hayden's little pet AI?
Insulting, but accurate.
Look, I'm sorry to come off callous. I do want to help. Hayden was a colleague and a friend, and I want to know he's okay. But I also need help getting the hell out of Neo SF, and now. My info is my leverage, and it's not for free. I'll just have to find another buyer. Maybe after I make another deal, I'll be able to pass it to you.
Perhaps we could assist you? My friend here is a terrific journalist. Being skilled at hunting down people and information is part of the job.
I don't know. Look, I need 100,000 credits, an untraceable car, and a fake passport for me and my wife, Francesca. If you can get me all that, I'll give you anything you want. Hayden's research notes, what I know about Parallax, my company's security credentials, whatever. If you're really sure journals can come up with that kind of stuff in one day. Might? Dear God, I'm doomed.
Melody only gave us a rough sketch of what you need. The more you can tell us about the situation, the sooner we can fulfill your request.
Sure. As long as it isn't the juicy stuff. I'm the head applications engineer for their data analysis division. Or maybe was, is what I should be saying. If Hayden is the big brain who comes up with the math that runs the search algorithms, I'm the guy who figures out how to collect and apply the data that we get. We've worked pretty closely for years, but he's head and shoulders above me as far as theory goes. I just build stuff out of the things he hands me.
I don't think you're giving yourself enough credit here, Vincent. Hayden was just a computer scientist, if a good one.
Was?
A slip of the tongue. I'm still getting used to my independence from him.
Ha! And that right there proves my point. Hayden built a fully independent machine intelligence in his spare time. Don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to bash myself here. I'm a good software engineer, probably one of the best. But machine intelligence? In a form factor like yours? Now that blows my mind. We've got full immersion, virtual reality, yet most people would still call you science fiction.
If you say so.
Because Parallax is rotting from the inside out. Hayden going missing is the last straw, and it's a big-ass straw. There is... how do I put this without giving it away? There's a new project about to roll out, and it's going to change everything about how Parallax does their business worldwide. Since the launch of the MeshNet, we've had some board shakeups, and the people at the top are different from the ones who've previously run the company. The altruism the company displayed in the past is gone. They're harder, more ruthless, and more concerned with profits and power than ever before. Not just richest company in the valley power either. Real power. My guess? Parallax got rid of Hayden because he was about to do something that would get in the way of that. If they're willing to get rid of the brightest mind on their payroll, what's to stop them from getting rid of me? There's a half dozen people who could do my job. So I'm getting out before I accidentally step on the wrong person's toes and end up at the bottom of the bay. Nothing concrete. I probably wouldn't have noticed anything out of the ordinary. I mean, Hayden goes out for a couple days all the time, right? Conferences and guest teaching. He doesn't exactly share his itinerary with me. I tried asking around and no one will say anything. If he had jumped ship, went to a different company, it would be the talk of the week at the water coolers. Instead, dead silence. Thankfully, he allowed me to keep backups of most of his work, simply because I cross-referenced it so much. He didn't like having it all in one place anyway. Bring me what I asked for, and I'll tell you more. Sure, I guess I can stick around here for a while. I need to make some calls anyway. If you do manage to get what I need, bring it here today and you'll get anything you want. Forwarding photos and info for the passports to Turing now. And I really hope you can do this. I'd rather give it to you than some other corporation anyway. See you soon.
I'm not quite sure where to get fake passports or an untraceable card. The only shady folks we know are those punks who vandalized Hayden's apartment. I doubt they could point us in the right direction, but a long shot is better than no shot. They might agree to help us in repayment for the damage done to the apartment. They seemed remorseful. We should check Market Street for them, in case they regularly hang out there. As for the rest, perhaps Dr. Fairlight or Melody could spot us the credits. That certainly is no small amount, but is unlikely to cause much consternation for either of them, assuming they are as dedicated to helping as they claim. Melody is assumably home as usual, and Fairlight did let us know he'd be at the hospital. We could ask either of them for assistance. Up to you to decide which would be a better course of action.
Oh, crap! It's that reporter in the bot again! Cheese it, Ollie!
Hold on a moment! We're just here to ask the two of you for a favor. You don't need to run again.
I knew you didn't have the guts to mess with me!
Guts?
And why would we want to help you?
We did trash that apartment, Chad.
Yeah? So?
We also didn't report you to the police for it.
Yeah? So?
And they still could.
Oh. Alright, well, spill it then. I ain't got all day. Can't you see me and Oliver are busy?
We We need some assistance with some illicit activity that, statistically, individuals in your age bracket are likely to have experience with.
Oh, so this is one of those things where you need a streetwise kid to show you the ropes. So, what's the thread? B&E, war driving, copyright infringement, search bombing?
Is search bombing actually illegal?
It's against the terms of service, so probably, at least in California. Oh, that's nothing, if you can pay. Ollie can whip up a couple that'll work good enough to get you past a bouncer or a cop doing sniff tests. He's a wizard with a printer and a lifted wallet.
It's more complicated than that. We need falsified passports that can get 2 people past the border safely.
Oh, yeah, I don't think Ollie can do that. Can you?
Not without equipment a lot more expensive and illegal than what I already have.
What about that guy who got Elise that unrestricted mesh card when she was on probation?
That's not really the same thing, Chad. But it wouldn't hurt to give him a call. Give me a few minutes. This guy is pretty sketchy, very cloak and dagger. I'll have to play middleman.
Excellent. I'll forward you the relevant documents and photos.
Oh man, now I'm starting to feel left out. Ollie gets to show off all his cool connections. You sure you don't need someone's head kicked in a little? That's my area of expertise in our little duo. Well, that and petty larceny.
We might have something that will suit your skill set. Let's just get the passports first, if you can stay calm for that long.
You sure yap a lot more than any of the ROMs I've ever owned. What's the deal? You install some new conversation routines Ollie ain't had the chance to nerd out about yet? Well, they're top notch. Very bleeding edge.
I don't run traditional ROM VI personality software. I am, in fact, the first fully sapient machine intelligence. Well, at least that I know about.
Which means what exactly in English?
It means he's a person, Chad, not a toy. Now keep it down. I'm still on the phone.
Oops, and yes, what he said.
Well, that's awesome. You ain't so bad. For a tin can.
Tin can? Really? I'm composed almost entirely out of plasteel and silica. Has no one come up with better insults for robots since the turn of the century? ROMs have been out for almost 2 decades.
Yeah, that's a good point. Give me a sec. I'm pretty good at name calling, too.
Oh no, I'm sorry I brought it up.
Just hold on a second. Underclocked? Oh, BitBrain!
Don't hurt yourself, Chad.
I'll get back to you, Bubblehead.
Okay, I talked to the guy. He said he'll do it, but he only works in trade. A couple of passports are gonna run us... 1 signed poster for Magical Commander Yukino? Yukino at the Gates to the Deep?
Course. It's always that Japanese crap.
It's not my fault they make the best VR dramas. Maybe you can do better?
Probably.
Anyway, where can we get a poster like that?
I'm not sure. Probably nearby. I've done switches with this guy before, and he never asks for something that'll take too long to get. My guess is he's a local that uses people like us as a way to nab something he's had his eye on. We'll help you look for it. Oh, there it is! I knew I saw a poster for Magical Commander Yukino somewhere around here. I should have remembered Ramona had one.
You know this lady?
Sure. We talk sometimes when I'm getting our drinks. You're usually too busy provoking people to notice.
You call it provoking. I call it spontaneous enthusiasm for healthy rivalry.
There's a bit of a line. We'll have to wait a few minutes before we can talk to her.
We could just do a smash and grab. Simple and effective.
We can't do that! She knows who we are!
Us too.
This is the most boring felony I've ever been an accessory to.
Look, we'll just stand in line.
Like a bunch of clumps? Chumps? What is the big picture anyway, Blue Bomber?
I'm not sure it's wise to spread it around, Chad. For either of us, the less you know, the less reason anyone has to bother you.
Screw that, Static. I'm not heading to Juvie not knowing what for. Spill the beans, or I'll spill them for you.
Your persistence is already legendary, Chad. Fine. If you really must know, we are going to trade the passports for some information regarding the disappearance of my creator. His apartment was the one you trashed.
Oh shit, that Hayden dude is your dad? And they snatched him? Oh, that's so messed up.
Well, Dad after a fashion. He raised me.
Man, I hope you find the dudes that took him. I hope he's okay.
It seems very unlikely.
Oh man, I don't know what to say, you know? I mean, I still have my dad, but he's...
Chad?
He's never really been around. Too busy trying to save the world from itself. Even now, he's over there standing in front of that damn clinic. And I thought I could find a way to make him... Whatever. I might as well nuke that drive. It ain't gonna sink.
I think I understand what you mean, Chad.
Hell yeah! Dudes gotta stick together, you know?
Dudes?
Don't matter if you're a robot or what. We all got the same shit to deal with. Gotta grab destiny by the horns and make your own mark. I was all mixed up, officer. I ran in with a bad crowd. I'm a good kid, I promise. Look, I'm not a true believer or nothing. I've got my own reasons for running with the revolution, and you ain't got the right to judge me. Besides, I'm pretty much done with those chumps anyway. There ain't no payoff no more.
Most of the kids in VHR just want to cause trouble and get away with it because their parents agree with the politics.
You say that like it's a bad thing. Who the hell wouldn't want to enjoy a little parental-approved head cracking?
The line has finally cleared up. Let's go talk to Ramona.
Well, if it isn't the luckiest jerk I've ever seen in my life. I had to schedule a specialist to come fix my ROM, and you better hope they can. Oh well, all's well that ends well. I underestimated how much people would appreciate an early Christmas. Anyway. Hey, Ollie!
Salutations, Ramona.
What can I do for you all?
Ahem.
Oh, this is my friend, Chad.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah, you too.
We were hoping you might be able to give us your assistance, Ms. Rogers.
We want to make a trade for that magical Commander Yukino poster over there. It's necessary for us to get some pretty important information.
No way! Not happening. Nuh-uh. Yukino is off limits. It's not just a poster. It was a gift from someone. Someone I care about, okay? Besides, you can't get another one. Takeko passed away a few years ago.
Perhaps there's something else that would make a suitable trade?
You aren't hearing me, are you? It has sentimental value. You can't replace that. Look, you'll just have to order something off the mesh, because you can't have this one.
Oh, we don't have time. This lead will dry up by then.
Keep me out of this.
Hell yeah! I knew we'd get to the smash and grab.
I'd like to see you try.
I'd like to see you try stopping me.
Chad, we're not stealing anything.
None of your asses are stealing from me. And for the record, way less moe than I thought. I'm sure whatever you're working on is important, but it sounds way too illegal for my taste. I'm not giving up that poster, and there's nothing you can do to convince me otherwise.
Please, Ramona.
Nope. How does life and death depend on a nerdy poster? Look, I don't even care. That poster was signed by Takeko herself. It's one of a kind, and I'm not giving it up.
I'd rather not drag you any further into this than necessary, but I promise that we're not overstating it. This is a dire situation, and people have already died.
Jeez. Look, whatever you're doing sounds sketch as hell. I and Magical Commander Yukino herself want no part in it. I don't even see how the poster can help.
Man, you nerds sure do love your cheap crap from the net.
Cheap crap! I'll have you know, that poster is worth hundreds of credits. Maybe more. Takeko passed away years ago, so there aren't any more of them getting signed. It's special.
Sure it is.
He doesn't get it. He's not in the fandom.
Thankfully.
Okay, enough. How about this for a trade? I have an original keyframe cell from Pretty Champion Sailor Sirius, signed by Takeko at home.
Whoa! You have a signed Sailor Sirius cell? That's super rare! They stopped doing keyframes by hand right around the time of her death.
You can't be serious, Ollie! You have that thing framed on your wall! And you wouldn't shut up about it for a week after you got it!
This is important, Chad. You can't say you wouldn't do the same thing if someone had your dad. Think about Turing. I can't ask Ramona to give up something important to her if I'm not willing to do the same.
Maybe.
Look, okay, I don't know what's going on, but you can't give me that cell for the poster.
But we need...
Yeah, you'll get the poster. Whatever you're doing, it must be really important if you'd be willing to give that up. Do you have something more equal to trade, Ollie?
A couple of things, maybe.
We'll talk about it then. Maybe you can find me another one, too. Go ahead and take the poster.
Thank you, Ramona.
Yes! I can't tell you how much it means to us, Ms. Rogers.
Sure. And, you think I could see that cell sometime, Ollie?
Of course! I'll bring it over when we talk about the trade.
So cool.
I don't like the way she was flirting with you, Ollie.
What are you talking about?
I know flirting when I see it, and I'm saying I don't like it. Not one bit.
We just talk about old anime sometimes, Chad. Neither of us are interested in the other.
Sure.
Well, we have the poster now. What's next?
Go ahead and call this number, Turing. He'll want to set up the drop with you, now that I've introduced you to him.
Sure. Change the subject.
I'll call him right now then. It's ringing.
You the ones looking for some papers?
We are, and we have the requested payment with us.
Good. We're gonna do this real professional like. You know Stardust?
I do.
Head there. Leave the poster behind the Mega Phobator arcade cabinet and get out. Come back 10 minutes later and your stuff will be behind the machine.
I understand.
Good. I'll be waiting.
Well, that was very mysterious.
Yeah, that's how this guy is. I don't even know his name, and I've been getting things from him for a few years now.
Who cares? Let him play Spy Master if he wants. Let's hurry up to Stardust and get this over with. I've wasted enough of my day with this crap.
Go inside to make the drop. We'll wait out here.
Yeah, don't want to get her IDs taken.
I suppose I should feign surprise.
Hey, it's a pretty cool set, even if it is like 1,000,000 years old.
They don't really care about the IDs unless you try to hit the bar.
Found that one out the hard way.
We would have been fine if you hadn't taken a swing at the bouncer.
So I like the hard way.
We'll be right back, gentlemen. Try not to set the building on fire while we're gone. no security right now? Well, that should do it. That was an awful lot of fuss over a poster. I just don't understand the appeal of merchandise like this. I keep my important possessions on my data drive. Ah, that is true. Ramona seemed more concerned with it being a gift from a friend than as an item of importance in its own right. Perhaps it is necessity to keep such things around as tokens from better times. Perhaps I should pick up a few things from the apartment, whatever's left. I do have perfect recall, but a few of Hayden's things would be nice reminders. Memories are better for remembering than reading. But that's enough navel-gazing. Let's head back outside so our benefactor can make the trade.
Hey, friends, what can we get for you? Later, you two.
Bye-bye. Y'all do the deal?
How did it go?
We left the poster behind the cabinet. Now we just need to wait for the switch.
I've never had to wait more than 5 minutes or so before. It shouldn't take long. I wonder how he knows the drop happened, and gets to it so fast.
Don't matter. This guy's a solid feed, even if he likes to mess around.
What do you need these passports for anyway? You said to trade for information, but what's the full story?
Without going into too much detail, our informant needs to get out of Neo SF unnoticed. The passports are one part of that. We also need to obtain an untraceable car. I don't suppose the two of you could help with that?
No way, dude! Grand Theft Auto is a felony with a capital F! Besides, getting an untraceable car ain't in the same league as a piece of plastic that'll fool a hand scanner.
Chad's right.
Of course I'm right.
The city's traffic management system keeps track of all vehicles passively, even if you manage to circumvent their firmware and keep them from actively reporting to the network. You have to spoof the car as something permitted to be invisible for the CTOS to ignore it.
I don't want to mess with boosting cars anyway. The junks run that racket in Neo SF, and they don't play nice.
Especially with the HR.
Well, thank you either way. You've both done us a huge favor. Call it even for the apartment.
Yeah, Blue. No hard feelings. You give us a call if you need anything else, long as it'll help you find your pops.
We should get going, though. We were supposed to be home hours ago.
My dad won't notice, but Ollie's will flip. You take care. Don't get de-rezzed.
See ya!
Goodbye! Let's finish the trade inside. Here the passports are, just as advertised. Now we need to find a car. Jess is right over there. Perhaps she may know someone who can lend a hand. Good thinking.
Oh, look. It's my favorite human and the mechanical sidekick. Did you find your guy? Or wait, let me guess. There's something else you need from me. Well, you haven't been terrible to deal with so far, so I'm willing to hear you out. Barely.
We need access to an untraceable car. An informant of ours needs to get out of the city without attracting the attention of Parallax and is offering valuable information to us in exchange.
Seriously? Jesus, what kind of shit is in your life anyway? Actually, don't answer that. I don't want to be legally liable. I'm not sure why you think just because I defend a few folks in the rougher parts of the city that I would have that kind of connection. And even if one of my clients did run a carjacking business, it's not like society is clamoring to give hybrids legal jobs. Regardless, I'm not going to be an accessory to a felony, or let one of my clients be either. I won't go down that path. I wouldn't know where to start anyway.
I know we're reaching, but this is important.
You just don't quit, do you? Okay, let me think. This might be a long shot, but you could try asking Majid. There are rumors he may have been involved in some shady stuff way back in the day. They'll probably be reluctant to talk about it, but there's a free lead for you. Get me another drink in exchange, will you? Later.
Huh, that went better than expected. I wonder if my charm is starting to pay off for us. Oh, you performed admirably as well. Onward we go.
Hey, friends, what can we get for you?
We were hoping you could give us a little information.
Sure, but first, let's get you a drink. What'll it be? Coming right up. I'll ask Gus if I don't know what it is. He's better with the weird kind of stuff people ask for these days. Some of these cocktails make me need a spa day.
Ooh.
This one is...
Does that sound good? Here you go. So, what did you need help with?
We've run into a roadblock in our search for Hayden.
Word on the street is that he's gone missing, which I'm sure you already know. What can I do?
Yes. An informant of ours needs secure transportation out of the city, but we don't have any contacts who would be able to get us an untraceable car. Jess mentioned that you used to engage in certain extra-legal activities. Perhaps you could point us towards someone who could help?
He doesn't do that kind of stuff anymore.
Right. Sorry, friends. I left that life behind a long time ago. Don't really keep in touch with that crew anymore.
Ah, of course. Completely understandable. Sorry to bother you then.
Well, no harm in asking, right? My reputation precedes me.
Don't let it go to your head.
Gus, I need to go to the back and gather up stuff to restock for the rush later on. Mind manning the bar for me?
Take your time. I think I can keep things under control.
Thanks. Love you, hun.
Well, that leaves us at a dead end. Any ideas on how we should proceed? Some nose-to-the-ground journalist techniques for finding leads? No, Tomcat has already stuck their neck out for us too often. I feel a little bad about how much we've relied on them as it is. And besides, this is a considerably more felonious action. Morally, we should be dirtying our own hands. That's not the worst idea. I don't think it would get noticed as long as the car had the appropriate registrations. But the permits to operate a manual vehicle are prohibitively expensive. A casual collector might still maintain one, but only a wealthy hobbyist would have the appropriate stickers to make the car roadworthy. We'd have to do a B&E, as Chad put it before. Risky.
No. Okay, the two of you are killing me here. Look, don't tell Majid about this. But, here.
What is this, Gus?
It's an automated vehicle maintenance scanner with a few less than standard upgrades. When you circumvent its security codes, you can use it to scan a car's installed firmware and replace it with a new set that will spoof its presence on the city's network. That's the gist of it, but we don't have time to get into any specifics. You need to get the hell out of here with that before Majid gets back. Look, Majid has done a lot to turn his life around, to turn my life around. I really respect that about him, and it's part of why I fell in love with him. He did what I was never able to. That's how we met, you know? That old rough-and-tumble life we both led. But when Stardust struggled and needed money fast, I had to get back in the game to keep us afloat for a few years. I told him it was all angel loans, donations from patrons, lots of things. He'd be heartbroken if he found out I'm still in the game. I had to do whatever I could to keep our new life, even if only one of us is really living it. I may as well give this thing to someone who wants to use it for good, too.
I can't tell you how much we appreciate this, Gus. We might finally be on our way to solving this mystery.
Yeah, well, you didn't get it from me, okay? Just get out of here and get on with your little Grand Theft Auto. And let me know how it goes, okay?
Of course.
Actually did it, huh? Well, you scored a point. But don't think I don't have enough cuties around who can handle that. You've got more important things to be doing. Get a move on.
Rats! This car has the wrong firmware installed. We won't be able to install our new firmware over top of it. We'll have to check another car. Oh no! How did the alarm get set off? Did I do something wrong? Let's get out of here before someone contacts the authorities. Success! This vehicle has the appropriate firmware version. Someone has been neglecting their regularly scheduled updates. Give me a moment to get everything installed. There. There are some other options here I can fool around with. Ah, interesting. I can put in preset destination plans for a future date. Why don't we go ahead and set a plan for the car to return to this spot in a week? That's more than enough time for Mr. Mensa to get away. Now we aren't really stealing the car. More like borrowing without asking. Obviously, the car will drive itself to Golden Gate Park, and we can show Mr. Mensa where it is when we meet him. There, everything should be set up now. We still need to get the cash together before we can meet back up with Mr. Mensa.